Edition of Fun and Games Friday. On Friday, we went through some of my stuff in this box, getting ready to organize photos, and I have to take my rocks out again because I had them in there again. And we'll go through. These are my hearts, mostly. My heart collection. Anyway, I have a whole bunch of pictures on top that I was going through, and we were getting to some fun things in the 80s. I do believe. So, we'll go through those. And so, my in-laws' farm was in Oneida, and we went out in the woods in back of their farm, and we looked at trees, and there was my husband again. And this was me in about 1989, 88. And this was my husband and myself in October of 1989 on our first anniversary in our first apartment. Good times. My sister-in-law and her husband were married in September of that year, and my husband and I decided to put on our wedding outfits with his groomsman suit and take a photo. So this was a year after our wedding, and we took photos of me in my wedding gown and my husband in a tux. So we had some fun photo shoot there. And that was before we went to Europe that fall. So that was fun. My husband liked to play with toys, and his nephews, and this was at his nephew's house, and he was playing. And this was a cousin's wedding. I had 2 children at that point, and so I was a little on the heavier side, and there I am, and we're having fun dancing, and somebody took a picture of us. And this was our son and my mother-in-law and my husband down in a park. It was a glorious fall day. And this was at that same wedding with my cousin and his wife, and just chit-chatting at the table. Oh, this is a fun one. It's a picture of my son, and right there is our little puppy Shangri-La, and we were up north at our cottage. And my son was in, I think, high school at this point, or middle school. And that's what my son is outside our cottage, and there's our van that we had, and we no longer have that property, but that was fun. We had a lot of fun times there as a family. I'm not really sure where this was taken, but that's my son too at that age. He's a nice looking guy. This was a shed my father built at our cottage. This, you can't see a thing. See, I got some pictures I'm going to have to just kind of get rid of. I think if I'm looking up in the tree, there might be a raccoon there. I'm not really sure. So I'll have to look at those closer, but I think they're... And for some reason, I have a picture of my mom near a highway. Oh, that's probably in Saint Germain area. I don't know. Maybe my dad took that one. I don't know. One of my mom getting up from a chair. She looks really weird. Don't ask me why, but somebody took a picture of my mom on the phone in Saint Germain at her cottage. This one you can't hardly see. I think it was my dad's friend on his motorcycle. I'll get rid of that one. And there's my son. He was on a 4-wheeler at my father's friend's house. My son is kind of terrified of that dog, but having fun yet at the same time. Don't ask me. And here is one of my husband and I really young. I'm not even sure if we weren't just dating in this one or it was shortly after we were married. I don't know, but I know that this was at a lake near St. Germain, Wisconsin, where we used to have a cottage. And my daughter and my husband, and this one got kind of beat up somehow, but it's a nice picture of them. So I'm going to keep that. And here is me with on a candid shot on the street with some friends of my parents that were very close, like an auntie and uncle to me. And as you can see, this is probably 1997 because I know the haircut I had kind of about that time. It might have been earlier. I'm not really sure. It could have been before I was married too. Not really sure. It was a while ago. I'm thinking it was probably... These are really strange pictures. The size is strange and the way they're cut is strange. It's my mom. It's the same time frame. I'm not sure where it was, who it was. Oh my goodness. This one's in the 70s. And that's my little dog Jojo that I had growing up, and she was out in the rain. Poor little puppy. My parents had two different mobile homes on that property, and this was the first one, and she's in my bedroom. On my bed where she's not supposed to be, but I didn't care. She was allowed to do just about anything. This was a photo I took one morning on a lake, and my dad was almost going to die that day. And it was really kind of an artsy sort of photo at the time. I don't know if it's exactly right now in terms of coloration, but it looked very misty that morning, and I stopped on the way to the hospital where I later that day, I think he had surgery. I don't know. Anyway, he had had surgery, I think, the day before. My father-in-law is very distant in that same day from, where I was talking about, and that's that same day. These are really a mix. And then here is Tammy in a photo that somehow has gotten ripped over time. But that's me, probably at like 3 or 4, at our old house when I was a little tiny girl. Might have even been 2. But that was our house in Little Chute. And me, as a freshman in college, I had rose-colored glasses. That's being silly, obviously. And this was me that next summer of, I believe, 79. Again, me, the summer of 79. These are foggy, but that's the day I graduated from college in 81. This guy's totally grown up. He was in the military in the Marines, but that's my godson and me. My oldest godson. I have 2 godsons. One that's younger, around my daughter's age, and then the other one is all grown up. Well, both of them are all grown up. Both of them are fathers now themselves, but yeah. And this was my uncle who had reunions all the time, my Uncle Pete. One of my favorite uncles, definitely. Nice guy. And his daughter and one of her children. One of my favorite cousins here passed away when in a motor vehicle accident when my son was just about to turn 1. She was only 35. She had adopted a son and was the light of her life, and then she was killed about 7-8 years later. It was really sad. And another uncle, the one that knew about my brother, is in the background, and then that's a cousin of mine. He's also gone. I think that might be his wife or girlfriend, but that's one of my cousins who has been gone since 19 2007, I don't know. He's been gone a long time. And the two ladies in this picture are gone. One is my Aunt Vida, and the other is my cousin Linda, who kind of let me know about my brother, but it's another story. My Uncle Pete had these reunions, and he would have horse-drawn carriages, and I didn't get to go to those reunions. Of course I didn't, because my parents never took me to the ones that were fun. But that's just the way it was. But anyway, they got to be a lot more fun, I guess, after I was going to them, and I don't know. But it's some of my cousins again, and they're one of my cousins, Tom, and his children, probably. And my uncle had horses, of course, and there he is on a horse. And I have some more cousins here. One of my very favorite cousins and confidants. I didn't want to show you the other one. The other one has her ex-husband in, but this one, there she is with her two children. She's a lovely lady. My confidant, Connie. And there, Al and Ione, who were always there for me. And special days. And my mom and I are preparing something. Let's see. I don't know if this was the day after our wedding or the year after. I'm not really sure. But anyway, that's my mom and me at my apartment with Jeff in the background. It was actually our apartment. He lived there first, and then I moved in. Yeah, I had the furniture. He had the apartment. And my cousin and his second wife. I was really close to that cousin. There are Jeff and me at our apartment entertaining, getting ready to entertain. And so these are going to go in. I have to sort through them and put them in those boxes. Let's see if I have some more pictures. I think I do down below. Oh my lordy, lordy. Lots of them. I also have. So I've got lots of pictures to sort through here. And oh my goodness, it's such a memory lane to go through these. My grandmother and my mom and my dad are at a wedding in the 1970s. Yeah, I should be like putting these in different spots. This is the 70s picture of my mom at that one Christmas where we saw yesterday. This is a picture of my husband on our wedding day before I got to see him. He was decorating the car. He went to a class before, an AutoCAD class, which I think that class is something he really has used during the course of our marriage and his career. And there he is getting the car ready for us to drive off. And this was a funny thing. My husband was out of town, and it was our anniversary. And I got these flowers, and it said Floyd Boy. And he was on his way home, and I was going to be going out of town. I was going like up north to see my parents with the kids. And, well, he sent this beautiful bouquet of flowers, which I kind of put on in the garage because it said from Floyd Boy. And I wasn't sure if it was to me. I thought, I was like, I don't want him to think I have some other man in my life. Well, we had this little thing when my husband flew so much, I'd call him my fly boy. Well, whoever took the order put Floyd Boy on it. Thank goodness I found out, but I didn't get to enjoy this. This is probably the most beautiful flowers my husband ever gave me, and I had to leave right after I got them, and they were so beautiful. But I did get this picture to remember that. Yeah. I had cufflinks made with FB on them, not ever thinking that it could stand for anything else. And the jeweler said, "Are you sure you want that?" I said, "Yeah, it's for Flyboy." I don't know if he wears them or ever did. Anyway, that's my Flyboy. And here's my Flyboy and my son and my daughter, and there we are up north in the woods in the 90s. Lots of pictures at our old property up in St. Germain. Here's me as a young mom with my firstborn. Yeah, so, yeah. He was a great baby. Still a great guy. My mom on a trip with, I think this was in Alabama, we rented a cottage. That's my mom in the 70s. And we had gone to Disney World and with these people that you've seen in other photos. And there's my mom on our steps of our house with JoJo that I grew up in. And there's my mom with JoJo where I grew up. And here's the house I grew up in when we moved to Appleton. We lived in this neighborhood when I was born at my grandparents'. Then we lived in Little Chute, and then I lived here in Appleton. My grandparents and me were on the steps there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. So that's fun. I should take a picture of that one and blow up that little section. That would be kind of fun. Then I have some more pictures here, which I'm not sure. I remember I talked about my cousin Vivian who lived with us. I did know her at the point before she ended her first marriage, and we did many things, like she was at my 16th birthday and so on. And Vivian is the one that was my roommate when the girls lived with us, and that was her first wedding. It was real pretty. Nice woman. I really miss her. And my mom and me in the 1960s. One of the parties we had for Borden, and you can see those pink candles, so that was near the Flyboy flowers. So, and this is my mom with my daughter when she was born. I have lots of pictures of my mom holding my daughter. My dad too, sometimes I had those. Lots of pictures of my mom. I think this one is my son. My mom and my son. So I had those pictures too. And there are more of those here as he grew. This is a picture of the woman that I mentioned that died just before my son was one. She was a photographer, and she took this picture of my parents in the 70s. And so most of these are from... Well, this is my daughter when she was a teenager with my mom. Nice picture of both of them. And this is a picture of us. We went to a wedding for one of my cousins, and there I am dressed up. This is in the 2000s, I think. My daughter's flinging her hair around. So, and here I am with my little son, and I'm pregnant with my daughter on a little train in a place that's a logging camp in Leona, Wisconsin. Nice place to visit if you ever come to Wisconsin. That would be a good place to go to visit. They have an old train and, lots of different things. This is kind of a crazy picture of me with some of my aunts talking to them at a reunion in the 90s. So, in Ohio. So, I think that's pretty much all I have here. The rest are kind of like repeats, and I don't need to show you absolutely every picture I have in here. Looks like they have more here, though. So, I'm into pictures that were of my mom's and dad's when they traveled and stuff. This one was, it's hard to see it, but this was one at my house, my parents' house, with my grandmother and mom, dad, and me when I was in college or just about to graduate from college. The person taking it was my college boyfriend. So, and I had this instant camera. It was in 1979 I got that, and the pictures are not that great. So, and the rest are, like photos of my children. Here's one of me and I think my husband and me. I don't know what we were doing. I may have had conferences that night, but I'm dressed up in my teaching gear, and my daughter and he went to a formal together that night. I couldn't go, so my husband took my daughter. We got a fancy dress for her, and she had her first date with her dad, kind of. It was sort of an evening that she got to go with her dad to that. So, and have a formal dress. So it was a symphony kind of thing. And here's my cutie with her favorite little cat, Sabrina. Oh, look how happy she is. She was a cutie, and so was Sabrina. I'm glad I have that picture. That's really neat. So, again, a little slice of my life here with some photos, and I hope you enjoyed this. I just shot a video about some more material and stuff. This is a Sunday night. I wish I could have something more that says fun, Friday fun, whatever, but this was like the Sunday edition of that. I'm going to just have to plan on just doing Fridays from now on, but once in a while I'll squeak in a Sunday edition. How's that? So, yeah. So that's what we'll do. I don't know. Until I can figure out how to get a different icon up for YouTube, because right now that's the thumbnail I'm stuck with for Streamlabs. I'll have to try to figure that out. But anyway, I'm hoping that you got to see this the last 23 minutes. I don't really see anyone chatting, which is the whole point of lives, kind of. So there's that. And I think my daughter is on her way in. So I'm going to end this now. So you've had almost 25 minutes of me chatting away about photos. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and God bless. See you soon.